All alone. No buffalo to run, no tribe to lead. What can they do for fun? Go, go, Gophers, watch them go, go, go. Go, go, Gophers, watch them go, go, go. Here comes the colonel with his sergeant, both are roaring and a charging. Go, go, Gophers, watch them go, go, go. Go, go, Gophers, watch them go, go, go.
I feel good after that. Very good morning. It looks like we're going to have some sunshine today. Clear skies looking to the east, but boy, it's chilly. Now, the past couple of days up in the 70s, you talk about Indian summer. I think that's part of the reason that we went with the Go Gophers this morning, but not going to be like that today. Highs expected in the mid to upper 50s, which it ain't bad, but it's not the low to mid 70s. I'm Brian. Welcome to Brian's Beat. This is the only show born at the apex of freedom, entrepreneurship, nomadism. It is a Saturday morning, void of rain. And that's good. I'm good for me. Good for most of us. To the areas of the Commonwealth that are worried because of brush fires, okay, it's not too good. And I do feel sorry for you. But at the same time, we know we're getting closer and closer to winter. And I'm speaking for myself. I want to enjoy the fine weather, the dry weather, for as long as we can. All right. ABC has told you what they want you to know. Now I'm going to do the same thing. The Bruins. Whew. I don't know what's wrong with them. 2 wins. Here we are in month number 2. They play this afternoon in Philadelphia. Afternoon affair in Philly. The Celtics won last night 124-109. They played in Charlotte. They're playing again in Charlotte. I guess it's not bad. I think it's a good idea. If you're going to play a team 2 or 3 times during the course of a season in their place, why not play both games at roughly the same time? So you don't have to spend all that money on airfare. You're going to do 2 hotel rooms either way. Might as well double them up right then and there. Anyway, Celtics are playing in Charlotte against the Bobcats. The Patriots with a question mark on their quarterback. They are in Tennessee to take on the Titans. You can hear the game right here on WBSM, starting with the pregame at 10 in the morning. 10 a.m. for the pregame. Kickoff just a little bit after 6 a.m. So where are we with all of this now? We are getting, I would say, just a little bit closer to Thanksgiving. 27 days away. 27. 53 shopping days before Christmas. What else? Another whale sighting. This time on shore, Elephant Rock Beach. Meanwhile, the head of New Bedford's port, he's worried offshore wind projects could be devastating to the scallopers. He wouldn't be the first one. There's no such thing as a free lunch. However, free tuition is coming to UMass Dartmouth next fall. Change the clocks before you go to bed. In case you're wondering, BRICS invited 13 more countries to join their group. From the no reason to worry category, 30% of Bay Staters have already voted. Mayor Mitchell is ensuring an anxiety-free election day. And as added safety, the feds are coming to monitor elections. More after the Brian's Beat quote of the day. Even Jim has election talk coming up on Town Square Sunday. The Bitcoin Biz Barometer, next half hour. Monthly Fee RX brings us the Brian's Beat quote of the day after we will learn just a little bit more about today, November 2, 2024. It is All Souls Day. I don't think it means soul music. All Souls Day. It's also Bison Day. We celebrate the bison. Cookie Monster Day. This is what it's devolved to. Bison Day, Cookie Monster Day. International Day to end impunity for crimes against journalists. Yeah, I'm down with that one. I don't know how many people are, though. Learn to Homebrew Day. I've had some home brews way back when I used to drink brews. Home brews can be a little bitter every once in a flat. Bitter, flat. Sometimes they do taste okay, but anyway, learn to home brew. Maybe you can come up with a good one. Look for Circles Day. I can't explain it. Can you? Look for Circles Day. National Book Lovers Day. Woman friend, this is your day off. It's National Book Lovers Day. I suppose if you're in a book club, Book Lovers Day is really great. National Deviled Egg Day. Ugh, no thanks. A lot of people like them, though. National Deviled Egg Day. National Wine Tasting Day. That will go good with the National Book Lovers Day because lots of folks that are book lovers in book clubs, they like to drink that vino. National Wine Tasting Day. Have you done this yet? Plan your Epitaph Day. You know, if you plan it out, if you plan what you want to be either read at your memorial or etched onto your tombstone, you will tend to behave in like manner. Just a thought. Just a thought. Practice being a psychic day. Well, if you're gonna etch on the epitaph, you might want to be a little psychic. Pumpkin Destruction Day. I have to admit, I haven't, I can drive around. Brian, the cab driver, would drive around the day after Halloween, and there would be pumpkins littered all over the street because people would smash them. But I guess today, 2 days after, is the official Pumpkin Destruction Day. If you're going to destruct a pumpkin, do it in your own yard. Don't be smashing them out there in the street. We already have the potholes. No, we don't need any more mess. Pumpkin Destruction Day is today. Who knew? And it's also Sausage and Kraut Day. Ooh. Oh, I suppose it's good to have that in the wintertime, in the fall on a Saturday when you've got football coming up. Sausage and Kraut Day. Tour Loop de Loop. The first organized auto race in the United States took place on this date, 1895, in Chicago. There were six vehicles in this race, and it's November 2nd. But in the Windy City, it started to snow. And because of the snow, blizzard conditions, only 2 of those 6 vehicles finished the race. And I'm sorry to tell you, I don't know who won. 1920, radio station KDKA, Pittsburgh, becomes the first commercial radio station in the country to do a broadcast. Now, I probably should have brought this up when I went over to visit with Frederick Douglass. But I can imagine, hey, Frederick, it's 1920. Nobody's got a radio. Very few people have a radio. And this station called KDKA in Pittsburgh does a broadcast. Who's listening? Yeah, I know what you mean, man. 1956. Israel decides it's their turn to occupy the Gaza Strip. Looks like they're trying to get back in there now. Or at least destroy the Gaza Strip. In 1966, the Cuban Adjustment Act. That allowed 123,000 Cubans that are here in the United States to apply for permanent residency. How do you say no? How do you say no? After the United States occupied Cuba for so many years, the Cubans took the country back. I don't like communism, but I understand they wanted to take their country back. They have. The casinos seemingly are gone. The Cuban Adjustment Act happened in 1966. 20 years later, and after 17 months in captivity, U.S. hostage David Jacobson was released. Where? Beirut, Lebanon. He got on a plane and got out of there, but he was being held in Beirut. All of this leads us to Monthly Fee RX, bringing us the Bryansby Quote of the Day.
If you're spending less than $20 a month for prescription drugs, great. If not, then our Monthly Fee RX service might be a good option for you. Check for yourself at monthlyfeerx.com.
I really got a kick out of this Bryansby Quote of the Day that's coming up today. All you need for happiness is a good gun, a good horse, and a good wife. And welcome back to Brian's Beat. Wow, you know, I'm overwhelmed, sketty. You really shouldn't have. I do appreciate it. There's like a Stop and Shop bag full of Halloween type candy, Slim Jim. Unbelievable. Woo! It's funny because I went to Stop and Shop yesterday. I was curious to find out if Stop and Shop had already marked down the Halloween candy. Because I'd been looking around. I went to Shaw's on Thursday, on Halloween Day. I went to Shaw's and I looked at the prices and I said, you got to be kidding me. 45 pieces of, you could get the mixed bag, Baby Ruth, Milky Way, Snickers, all combined into into one bag. And the price was, I want to say it was 14 and change. No, that can't be right. That was the other one. It was $8.99. And I thought to myself, well, 35 pieces over at, I don't know if it was Market Basket, and I would have paid for 35 pieces for $4.99. And I thought, well, Market Basket is a bargain anyway. I thought, well, if I'm really going to get candy, I'll go over to Market Basket and get it. I'm not going to pay for an extra 10 pieces, an additional $4. So I went to Stop and Shop, and they had 85 pieces. And it was marked down from $14.99 down to $7.99. And I said, wow, that's not bad. And the person who was marking it down, he was commenting to me, hey, this would be a good deal now. And I said, yeah, if I was going to buy it, it's better to buy it the day after than the day of. And he goes, yeah, we're marking it all down. I said, well, isn't that usual for the day after Halloween? You mark the candy down to get rid of it? And he goes, yeah, but, he was just surprised that there was so much candy in there. Well, there was. And, I don't know when Sketty got this candy here, but thank you very much. Because this bag is full. Unbelievable. Oh, there go the teeth. Now, if candy isn't your thing and you want a bargain, I've got a bargain for you. I'm going to tell you about that bargain after we hear from Mr. Phillips, who is over in Studio 6 and 7/8. Jim has a Town Square Sunday update for us. Good morning, Jim.
Morning, Brian. Good morning, everyone. Here's what's happening this week on Town Square Sunday. New Bedford Light columnist Jack Spillane joins us and shares his views on what appears to be Donald Trump's growing support in our area and what ballot questions are generating the most discussion. Also, Victoria Grisella of the United Way stops by with details about the Hunger Heroes food drop outside Aldi's Supermarket at the Dartmouth Mall. It's happening November 16th from 10 to 12. It's your chance to help needy families during a special time of the year. I'm Jim Phillips. Join us for Town Square Sunday, Sunday morning at 6 on 1420 WBSM and 99.5 FM.
And the WBSM app chat is already up and running. Somebody said, hey, who gave that quote of the day, the Brian Speak quote of the day? The quote is, all you need for happiness is a good gun, a good horse, and a good wife. Danny Boone. We affectionately call him Daniel Boone, but my guess is if his wife ever heard that line, he'd be reduced to Danny. All you need for happiness is a good gun, a good horse, and a good wife. Do you think that line plays in 2024 as well as it may have back in, I think he was born in 1820. So I'm not quite sure when he did that line, but I don't think it flies the same way as it may have when he came up with that quote. At any rate, so you're looking for a good bargain and not just on Halloween candy. Stop and Shop closed 7 stores on Wednesday. No, on Thursday, excuse me. On Thursday. And they're going to take some of the items from those stores and they're going to mark them down and resell them at the end of next week. Now, I have no idea what's left in the store, but if you are a bargain shopper, you might want to go. There's a store in Brockton. There's one in Rainham, Halifax, and even Pembroke. Those are the closest ones that I can see on this list. that are near to us: Brockton, Rainham, Halifax, Pembroke. So sometime toward the end of next week. Wonder what they've got. And imagine if they had marked down the Halloween candy. They really weren't able to because they closed on Thursday. Halloween was Thursday. So nobody went into the store yesterday to mark down that candy. But can you imagine what the Halloween candy would cost at one of these stores right now? Not bad. Okay. Time to get somewhat serious. We have a major election coming up on Tuesday. If you include today, we are 3 days away, or 3 days before. If you include Election Day, 4 days. And I've been through numerous elections in my years. This one is by far the most whacked out election cycle that I can remember. And I remember 4 years ago, I remember 2016. But this one in particular, a lot of the comments that are coming out are way over the top. And I try to put myself every once in a while as somebody who is learning about the United States of America. And you may have read in books about our system, but you really haven't seen our system at work. And you're looking in, maybe you're looking in outer space, looking down. Who knows exactly what? A crystal ball, you name it. But you're looking at what's going on over the past month, 2, maybe even 3 months. You've seen a presidential candidate bumble his way through a debate. That candidate who won all of the primary votes because there was really no contest within his party, drops out of the race. Another person is anointed to take that person's place without any votes. On the other side, you've got a candidate who is just not liked. And say what you might, you're talking about a despicable character. Now, you're looking from the outside, and you're seeing this, and you're hearing all kinds of lines, and you've got to start wondering to yourself, what are they doing in this country where you're supposed to have freedom of expression, rights to carry guns, open elections, all of these things. And then throughout the course of the week that just passed, you happen to catch a newscast or 2 or 3, and you see ballot boxes on fire. What are you thinking about free and open elections when you see these fires? Now, I'm going to take myself away from that stranger looking in to tell you what ran through my head when I saw that. I said, I wonder who's responsible. Who either put the person up to light these ballot boxes on fire? Or what's the real story going on here? That's what went through my head. And then I took myself out of my head again. And I said this to woman friend, and I think I brought it up with Barry yesterday. I said, if you are outside of this country and you see the newscast and you hear some of the reports, some of the screaming and yelling, the name calling that candidates are doing at this particular time, and you have to think of the United States as being some type of third world country, and then when you see the ballot boxes on fire, you know it. Our country, taking myself back into being me, that's what we've become. We've become a nation where, we don't give a hoot anymore that we'll light the ballots on fire. Now, who knows the real reason behind it? And I could go into one of my conspiracy thoughts, and I think I'll keep that to myself. But just the fact that ballot boxes are on fire, and you and I also know that there are plenty of people out there worried, and that's why they decided to go to the polling place to vote inside, because they didn't want anything to happen to their ballot. And you know what? I don't blame them. I didn't want anything to happen to mine. That's why I went to my polling place in Dartmouth. So we can see that our country is, we might as well say we are Venezuela. We might as well say we are some of these other countries where we go to monitor their elections. And now, what happened this week? Mayor Mitchell and the police and the election commissioner hold a press conference. I don't think they've ever done that before, at least not in my time. They hold a press conference to let us know there's going to be beefed up security. It's precautionary. It's precautionary. But that's what they're doing because they don't want anything bad to happen here. Precautionary. 30% of us, or just under 30% of us here in the Commonwealth, have already voted. I don't know how many are mail-in, but 30% of us have already voted. And now the feds, I think the Justice Department, when I say the feds, they've got monitors going to 6, 7, 8 different places here in the Commonwealth to monitor the elections. So the feds are coming into Massachusetts. Massachusetts. Does somebody think that something corrupt is going to happen here in our backyard? Mayor Mitchell is doing this because he wants an anxiety-free election day. And I don't blame him for the anxiety-free part. But what is all of this telling you? If you were outside of the United States, I'm going to say outside of Canada too, and you could see what's going on with this election cycle, what are you thinking? 508-996-0500. Good morning. You're first up today.
Hi, Bri.
Hi, Bri.
Boris Johnson was just interviewed the other day. I think he was on Fox News, and they asked him about our elections. And he, here's a guy that looks like he's 70, but he has like the haircut of a 15-year-old, and he's sort of clownish looking. Anyway, and then he sort of laughed and said, the British are usually noted for having wild elections, but now we're sitting back watching America, thinking we seem pretty normal. 3 days ago, RFK Jr., during one of his speeches, sort of took a pregnant pause, and then he said, I hope that you all understand that something happened that's never happened in the history of America yesterday, and everybody got quiet. And he said the Biden administration made an executive order that the U.S. military can use deadly force on American citizens. And you can look it up. And I did. And he did. Now, I don't know whether the executive order got taken seriously or whether it is implemented, but that's a pretty amazing thing that just happened. And that clearly has to do with the elections and nothing else.
Well, who knows? I'm not going to leave it like that. I think it could be implemented in time for the election. But do you think that executive order is going to die out after November 5th or, let's say, November 8th?
I think that, honestly, I don't know what to think. It does seem like to me that, and Biden is compos mentis as he is these days, about 3 weeks ago or so was in an interview and someone had asked him, or was getting questions from a reporter, and the reporter asked if it's going to be a violent election, and he basically said it could be. And I was sitting there going, well, is is Joe projecting? Does he know something? Because he's been projecting a lot in the last few weeks. So a lot of it has to do with, it seems like me trying to tank the Harris campaign, but who knows? Or just trying to say I'm still in charge. But and then it capped off with a friend of mine yesterday I've known for 20 years, really well. Actually helped me get a job one time. That's how well I know him. And he's always been, fairly a Democrat and fairly left-wing, but not a progressive, I would say. But we're in a conversation yesterday, and then we've talked about politics, but he was apoplectic and I would say fairly paranoid. And he was, I won't get into it because it's too long to get into, but I had to stop him and say, what's going on with you? And he was afraid of the election. And he said, you realize that my kid, if you vote for Trump, my kids are going to die. And I'm like, what? I said, he was in office before, right? But he was so unhinged in the conversation, and a guy I've known for 20 years, that I couldn't finish the conversation because I thought it was really detrimental to him mentally, physically, and I didn't want to ruin our relationship. So we sort of backed away. But all I can tell you is when I saw that, I was like, wow, I'm pretty comfortable with things right now. But there are some people out there that think that the end of the world is happening in 3 days.
If Trump wins.
In his case, it was if Trump wins. I think that most Trump voters don't see the end of the world as happening, even if Kamala Harris wins. It's a bad scenario, but that's not.
No, what I'm getting at is I think that there are many people. I don't know that they're getting to the point of where that the world will end, but pretty darn close to it. That's the feeling, and that could be the strategy behind what the Democrats are doing to try to win back or keep, I guess, the White House. I don't know if that it's going to work, but I still think, as I stated earlier, that she will win the popular vote. Does that mean she's going to win the Electoral College? No, it does not.
No, and I know where your feelings are. I've heard you many times. So, but I think that Trump has been, in office before, but we're in a worse situation now. But that was from the last 4 years. And I'm not talking about the economy. I look at international politics, and you've got North Koreans training in Russia. And a lot of times these things are postures. But I think that we're in a very difficult position right now, that if hypothetically, if a North Korean is on the battlefield in Ukraine and then gets killed by an American weapon, they're putting North Koreans in front of Russians at this point. But it is a very geopolitical entanglement that's going on right now, and I don't think it's going to be healthy.
Is your feeling that Kamala Harris couldn't handle that?
No, I don't. No, in all honesty,
No, so the answer is yes.
No, I don't.
It is your
I
feeling
don't
that
think
she can't handle it.
No, I don't think that she can handle it.
Yeah.
There will be other people that do, but that's the scarier part because a lot of these other people got us into these wars. And what why do you think Dick Cheney and Liz Cheney are sitting there at the for a Kamala Harris rally? It tells you a lot. 20 years ago, that would never happen, but they're so desperate to maintain their power and to maintain their ability to pull the American trigger, so to speak.
Just to balance out what you're saying, it looks like Donald Trump is doing the same thing to regain power.
Well, I think that Donald Trump's worst attribute is his mouth.
Yeah.
But right behind that is that you have a press that misrepresents what he says in a lot of things, and it's easy to pick
so
that up.
if that's the case, and I won't argue that thought process about my friends in the media, I would say this: if Donald Trump is getting misrepresented all the time, if I were, that might be a reason not to talk so much. But that's what I would do.
I would agree. If I got to sit down with him, I would say, you're going to lose your own election because of what comes out of your mouth. There's no question. Because I think that his heart's in it, and I think that the American people can see that and hear that and feel that. And I think that as a president, there are some people around the world that would be agitated, but I think that his goal is peace. That's all he's been talking about. But
the guy that did a hit on an Iranian is talking peace.
He ended a caliphate of that most Muslim countries don't agree with, which is ISIS. So I mean,
I don't know that it ended. ISIS is still around.
It did end because when he dropped the big bomb on him, I won't get into it, but they said the military told him that it was going to take 4 years to end ISIS, and then what he did was, which is what he's really great at, is he brought everyone together and said, well, how else can you do this and do it faster? And then the generals on the ground said, we can get this done in 3 to 4 months, and they did. But the generals,
you say they did, and yet ISIS is still around. They may have gone underground for a while, but they're still around, and you're not going to get rid of them.
Yeah, so is COVID, but most of COVID is gone.
COVID is a little bit different, don't you think?
Here, Ryan.
Well, they're still fighting.
They're not a force to reckon with anymore. Let's put it that way.
I don't. Okay. Well, I guess what we'll have to do. I hope you're right. I really do. But what I think we're going to have to do is wait and see if they are a force or not a force. I do appreciate your call, as always. 508-996-0500. It's time now for the Bitcoin Biz Barometer, where we measure the universal crypto marketplace. We got a mix today. Good mix. Bitcoin is up $2,598, so almost $2,600 from last week at this time, coming in at $69,661. Ethereum, $2,508. That's up $38. Binance Coin is down 6 at $575. That's $575. Solana is down $2, coming in at $166. XRP, 51 cents, even from last week at this time. Dogecoin is up 3 cents at 16 cents. And Tron is even at 16 cents, same as it was last week at this time. And that's your Bitcoin Biz Barometer for today, November 2nd, 2024. As always, I get my numbers from coinmarketcap.com. And I thought about it for a second, and I said, so why do I always get them from coinmarketcap.com? And I said, you know what? even though they're updated every second of every day, 365, 366, you name your year, it's also a lot easier to read it at coinmarketcap.com. Welcome back. 508-996-0500. We have a guest after the top of the hour news, Dr. Karen Johnson. She is a professor of neurology at UMass, member of the American Academy of Sleep Medicine. She is a sleep specialist. She gets called in many times, like I'm doing in this particular case. She's also the vice president of Save Standard Time. Like you, I've never heard of the group. We will talk to her after ABC tells us what they want us to know. Here's something that I want you to know. And only because it deals with the fact that we are changing the clocks. Do you know what next week is? Do you know what next week is? It's Drowsy Driving Prevention Week. Here in the Commonwealth, Drowsy Driving Prevention Week. And you know how I know? Because Governor Healy signed the proclamation so we could have this day. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How's Brian?
Brian is.
Good.
How are you?
I know. You've been very good lately since you got your woman friend.
How do you know?
Very good. I can tell your mood is good.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you.
So, Brian, I had to change the station yesterday, and I put it on a nice Calm Jesus station. No, because
you found Jesus.
I don't want to.
Okay, that's fine.
I don't want to hear
that's
all
all
that
right.
stuff
Okay,
anymore about
but
that.
you know what? You don't have to tell us. You can just, you had a good day at doing whatever it was you were doing.
I want, Brian. Listen.
No, I don't want to hear that.
I got to call Stokowski. I'm going to call him because.
All right.
Listen.
Go ahead and call him.
No,
but please
listen,
don't. We don't want to hear.
But listen,
you're going to waste your time on this.
What?
You're going to waste your time talking about this?
No, I'm not, because I talk with him. So anyway, listen. My sister used to work there, by the way.
Oh, but okay, and.
I know people. So listen, another thing is, last week I was listening to the radio, right, this station, and yours, and I had said the word ASS wipe. What's so bad about that? So now afterwards, during the week, I hear Chris McCarthy say it right out of his mouth, ASS. And then another person called in and said ASS. They never hung the phone up. So Mark will pull the tapes.
Okay.
For me, you know what I mean?
So
that was wrong.
So wait a minute. You said it, and did something happen to you for saying it?
Right. Well, they hung it up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm not going for. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I just haven't had time. He'll pull the tapes because that's not right, really. I mean, they're saying it, and I can't say anything. If you listen, you can hear all this stuff.
If I listen, then I'm not taking care of what I need to take care of.
No, but I'm saying when you're not on the air. But the thing is, there's favoritism. Certain guys can call up and do certain things.
Yeah. That's life. I mean? Unfortunately, that's life. But yes, I know what you mean.
All right. So anyway, let me say what I'm going to say. So anyway, but unfortunately, too, when I had this other Jesus thing on, they did talk a little bit about the election. But they happened to say that Catholics, I don't know how many, if it was millions or what it was, but they said quite a few aren't voting because of the abortion thing.
So they're not voting because of abortion?
Yeah, because this was a religious station, and they did bring on the elections, and they did mention that. But anyway, I just think it's such a dirty, dirty election. I've never seen anything like it in all my years.
Yeah, same here.
and I'm just disgusted with. I'm more disgusted with Trump because he's constantly talking about Kamala Harris. Constantly, it's always insults. That man can't do anything but say bad things about everybody. And you dare call